Hi, this is Francois Chow. I am the Shredder from Secret of the Ooze. And it's been a pleasure for me to talk to Justin and Eric on Epic Tales from the Sewers. It's been great, guys.
Welcome to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. Strap into the party wagon and hold on to your pizza. Hello and welcome back to Epic Tales from the Sewers. I am your most excellent host, Justin. With me, as mostly always, Mr. Eric Will. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, you're looking around to see who it is.
Yeah.
Eric, we got a special guest today,
That we
right?
do.
I'm excited because he's from my home state of Connecticut. We know him from Granite State, where we saw his excellent artwork. Goes by the name RZP. Rob, how you doing?
I'm great.
See
Glad
that?
to be here.
That's how you build drama.
Yeah.
So we got to take a look at your stuff at Granite State last year. Awesome stuff. You had some really cool artwork that was up on stop signs and things like that. Can you give the listeners kind of an idea of your artistic style?
So it's just pretty much a lot of like I like dynamic artwork. So it's pretty much comic book art on street signs. That's pretty much the gist of it. I like I like to upcycle things. I like to paint on anything from cereal boxes to beer can boxes, stuff like that. So yeah.
I just saw a really cool Galactus that you had done. That was pretty sick.
Thank you. I like to add graffiti in the background too, to like, that's where I really get to like be an artist, is, with being abstract with the graffiti and adding different colors and different tags in the background. So yeah, that's pretty much dynamic artwork on street signs, say.
Where does something like that come from? Like the idea of doing tags and all that? Is that just something that you're like, oh, I'm excited about this, and you're like a 13-year-old in school and you're like just writing out your name RZP, or like how does it come from? Is there like an artistic influence?
So yeah, I was doing graffiti since like middle school. So, we'd go under a bridge or a tunnel and just grab a couple colors and throw up some bullshit names, words, whatever words we thought were cool. So the graffiti started with that. I've been drawing since I was a little kid. I used to have my mom would draw Ninja Turtles on like envelopes, and I would just kind of copy her.
Oh, cool.
So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Ninja Turtles first. It was that cartoon show. It was like heroin to a child, like
Of course.
colors, just they had swords and shit, you know what I mean? Just like,
Yeah.
It was cool. They were ninjas, you know what I mean? You can't beat that.
How close to your artistic style would you say your mom's is? Like, did you go from that and that's kind of like your basis, or are you like completely different now?
I'm completely different now. My mom was pretty good at drawing. Not the best, but when I would call on her and be like, hey, can you draw this? She would draw it and I would copy one next to her. I actually have an envelope, like one of the first Ninja Turtle heads I drew when I was like a small child.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I would say it's way different. Obviously, I surpassed my mom,
You have a similar origin story to Alex Ross, the painter. So, if you know Alex Ross from doing the Marvels and Kingdom Come and like all of that, so you've got a pretty good story, man. That's kind of cool.
Thank you.
Going back to the street sign stuff, where do you come across these?
Right now, I got an antique guy in Bristol. He'll hit me up when he got signs.
Nice.
I've been going through a Facebook page. There's this Facebook page, and they just post street signs and they sell them. The last couple batches I got from that Facebook page. So it's just like everywhere. eBay, if I'm looking for something specific.
eBay, yeah.
I can get custom ones made. I usually don't do that because I like the signs coming like naturally to me. But yeah, again, from everywhere. I'll meet people at shows. So
Oh,
many
and they'll
people at
bring you
shows
something?
will
Huh.
come up to me and be like, "Oh my God, like I have, X amount of signs in my garage. Do you want to trade?" Or, sometimes I buy them off of them, like so. Just everywhere really. Once in a while I'll snag one off the street, but
Yeah.
it's been a while since it's a pain in the ass too. It's like you need to get on both ends with a drill, and it's just it's a nightmare.
Well, that's
I
the
just
good thing
buy
about
them
living in Waterbury, Connecticut, is they're always working on the highway,
always.
and they always will be working on the highway there.
Yeah.
So, shout out to any Connecticut listeners. You will understand that reference. Everyone else who's listening, our Australian listeners and all that. Just it's a place that has literally been under construction for I don't know, last 40 years. So, not much has changed. So
Yeah, they're close to getting the mix master finished, I believe.
it's
But
hilarious.
yeah, shout out to all the construction workers.
Yeah, my buddy is one of the guys working on the road, and I'm like, "Hey, this done yet?" And he just tells me, he's like, "Shut up, shut up." He's literally been doing it for
Never
20
ending,
years.
never
Yeah,
ending.
it's like, you know what? Maybe one day we'll go and we'll see a tag on the back of one of those signs that says RZP, and then it'll all be worth it.
Maybe I don't put my government up there. That's how they get you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because then they'll go after you. Is that something like? Did you have to go through that as a kid? Like, did they ever find you?
No. I'll tell you a story. I got in trouble in New York City one time.
Oh God.
And yeah, I was using the words RIP instead of RZP.
Okay.
I was blasting Ninja Turtle heads all over
Oh, crazy.
down all over like Orchard Street, like the east side. And yeah, I went out one night and two guys I had a friend with me. She was supposed to be a lookout, and of course she wasn't looking out. She was looking at what I was doing, and I was spray painting, and two guys approached me, and they were under covers, and they were wearing plain clothes. They had the badges, and they came up from either side of me, and I kind of like was like, "Fuck, man!" I stepped forward, and then I turned and I took off, and they chased me, and I got such a good head start on them. But as I was running, I hit a corner really fast, and one of the cops slid and like went one way, and I went left. So I tossed the can, and I ran down the street, and I was gassed, man. I was hammered too, tequila.
Oh,
Yeah, tequila, and dude, I got stomped out a little bit by the cops, and I got arrested and sent to central booking. So I had to stop with the RIP tag, and I stopped tagging the Ninja Turtle head because they have my info. So
oh yeah.
yeah, that was the end of RIP and the Ninja Turtle head.
Was that something that was that something that was that you were putting up before Ninja Turtle heads? Is that like how
Yeah,
it
just a
started?
quick it's called a tag. So it's one color. You write your name and you do a little, do your style, your hand style, and then that's it. It's quick.
That's cool.
So yeah,
I don't want to specifically ask where you've put it, just in case anyone's listening.
Oh man, this was years. This was years ago. So I did my time for that.
Yeah, that probably sucks.
Luckily, the cop was good. Cop was okay.
Oh yeah, because if you had gotten hurt, you probably would be in big trouble.
They cornered me, and I got down on my chest with my hands behind my back and all that jazz, and they came over. They stepped on me.
Oof.
It wasn't bad because that tequila, I couldn't feel a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So
So you wake up and you're like, yeah, I feel fresh as rain.
Yeah, I just woke up in central bookings for the weekend,
Oof. Yeah. No, that's crazy.
But that was my one time.
Your turn as a super villain, right?
Yeah, after that I was done. I was like, doing this shit.
That's a good story, though. I can appreciate it.
Saying hi.
Yeah, what's up?
So one thing I thought was really cool is this past October, I really started to take notice because we had Villaintober and it was all over all of the folks that I'm following, like Camilo and
Yeah.
uh, geez,
Chris
who else was
Van.
it? Vance.
Yeah,
Yep, that's right.
Vance, yeah.
And you had some really good character choices in there, and there's a couple that really stand out, and I can tell that you must be a Silver Surfer fan because I see a lot of the Surfer and I see some Galactus in your work. Your Venom is amazing, like that.
Thank you.
And I know that's the first one in the book, but it's like I think you had it like even colored like a greenish tint or something, but that was friggin' awesome. And Omega Red, man, between you and Camilo, I'm like, oh my god, there's some crazy character selections in here that I wouldn't have thought of, like Maleficent and stuff. Where'd you guys come up with this?
Um, I want to say Camilo came up with it.
Oh, he
Um,
came up with the idea. Okay.
well, he came up with the character selection, so it was all villains. I believe so. Don't quote me on this, but
Oh,
yeah,
Stephen King too. Can't forget him. So
yeah. We all yeah, all those artists, they all kind of put in, like, we switched a couple characters out. Yeah, I think I mentioned Omega Red, and everyone else put in some characters too. But yeah, I would say that was Camilo, I want to say.
what kind of characters do you like to draw? I know you said you like dynamic characters and all that, but is there anyone that's like we talked to Ruth and Ruth is like, I love drawing Swamp Thing. I'll draw them all the time.
Yeah, he
You know?
draws something really good. I like Wolverine. I like the Turtles. I like Spider-Man. All the Batman, Punisher, all the the bigger names. That's just what I like drawing, though. That I grew up drawing, copying Spider-Man and the Ninja Turtles. So, like, I like the more I like drawing the berserker type characters that are a little, like, rough around the edges. I love drawing Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine's awesome. One of
Yeah,
my
bugging
favorites.
out, like, screaming. I love that. Um, yeah, I like drawing Dragon Ball Z too. I don't draw enough of it, but Dragon Ball Z, man, when Toonami was pumping that out on Cartoon Network when I think I was in middle school, I would record those Dragon Ball Z episodes and I would pause them. I would record them on VHS.
Oh yeah.
TV and then pause, and then I literally learned, like, the male anatomy from that TV show, just
Oh,
like,
no kidding.
yeah, just copying and and just learning from all the poses and stuff like that. So
A
yeah,
lot of this going on. It's
a lot
just
of
holding the
fucking
arms out to the
screaming, a
side
lot
and
of dudes screaming,
yeah. I think your art style lends itself really well to anime characters, especially the kind that have like that sort of glowing fire and stuff. Like the way that you can layer it with spray paint and all that. That's such a cool way. Do you ever do stuff with like I don't know, jackets or anything, like anything that you've done other than street signs with DBZ? Sneakers
um,
maybe?
DBZ, besides sketches, I haven't really taken any DBZ to anywhere else besides the street signs and some sketches. I did a couple Ninja Turtle jacket. I did a really great Punisher jacket, and it was a jean jacket, and it was the logo on the back and then a small logo on the front. And I had him in scuba gear, and I had him swimming with like hammerhead sharks.
Oh wow.
I'm bummed because that one sold, like, immediately at Brooklyn Comic Con.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
I've done some sneakers before. I say I've done Batman fighting Bane on a pair of Timbs.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What else? I've done some Looney Tunes on some
Oh
Air
my
Force
God.
Ones. Some
The ones where they're wearing the backward jeans like crisscross.
no. I remember that though. I think I had that shirt.
I think we just lost all of our listeners under 30, but that's okay. So
Yeah. Those are sought after shirts now.
yeah. I've seen the vintage tea market. They're pretty up there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll do what else have I done besides yeah, I think that's probably it. I painted a remote control car frame before, painted Deadpool on that.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, they used to have a place like that in Woolkit, where they had this whole place with uh remote control cars you could go. It was up on Route 69.
Yeah, I think there's one in Bristol too now.
Yep, that makes
Um,
sense.
we just lost all the listeners that aren't from
Yeah,
Connecticut.
exactly. That's a,
Bristol,
oh, you
what?
don't want to talk about how you take Route 69 through Woolkit from Waterbury to Bristol?
Where we
That's where I
going?
used to
Where we
live.
going?
That's no good Route 6 stories.
Dude, as soon as I hear directions like that, like, oh, Route 69, my eyes glaze over and I'm just like, what? I don't know.
Oh, this is the part of the show where we talk about how they used to have a Funko land out there, you know?
Uncle and
And now
holy
we've lost
shit,
all the
dude.
other ones. Yeah, exactly. I go way back. So that's how you do it.
Funko.
Well, what we're talking
Yeah.
about for all the listeners is where Rob's from is where I'm from originally. So we share a lot of that, a lot of the same places, and chances are we've either been to the same shows, the same Comic Cons and stuff. Like, do you do Terrificon?
Yeah, it was actually one of my first shows I've done.
Nice.
I did that, I think, in 2016.
Oh, that was the year Kevin Conroy was there. Yeah,
That was a while ago.
yeah.
I slept in my U-Haul van. I
Oh, no
rented a
kidding.
U-Haul van for that show, and I slept, and I woke up and washed my parts in the sink.
Yeah, like most of the people at the casino, because
Yeah.
that's actually
Uh,
held at Mohegan Sun Casino and all that. So, you know, if anyone's interested in Terrificon, you can check out our sister show, Splash Pages, where I think back in August we interviewed Mitch Halleck, who is the host and the provider for that show. So
Shout out to Mitch.
yeah, it's a cool show. They have a lot of great stuff. I went this year and I was walking around and I see artist David Finch walking by, and I'm like, dude, I loved your Ninja Turtle. Literally stops and just like, oh, thanks so much. Starts talking to me for like 5 minutes about it. And his handler's like, what are you doing? And pulls him out of here. He's like, oh, I gotta go. He was so excited to talk about Ninja Turtles because nobody talks to David Finch about Ninja Turtles.
He's
You
a
know,
beast, David Finch.
yeah, he does good stuff. We had another artist on, Johnny DeJardinis, who
He's a
is a
beast too. I know who
awesome,
he is.
awesome artist.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that he helped to do some of the backgrounds in Ultimatum. And a lot of people with this book, they're like, "Oh, Ultimatum sucks," or whatever. That has nothing to do with this art. And if you look at the cityscape in the back there, it is gorgeous. So shout out to our buddy Johnny.
Yeah,
Really great
he's a
stuff.
monster, man.
Hey, you probably see a lot of these guys
Yeah. Oh yeah.
at these shows, huh?
Yep. I talked to Johnny for a split second. We did Big Apple Con. I was across the table from him,
Oh, nice.
or across the aisle. But yeah, there's so many good artists that I meet. It's like you can learn a lot from these guys too, because how talented they are, like just little tips and tricks here and there.
Oh yeah, yeah. We learned a lot, and it's especially getting to meet everybody at Granite. Just like getting to see the
Mhm.
process, watching them do it. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have you had any run-ins with any of the celebrities or anything else like that? Anybody that's kind of impressed you at these cons, or it could be not impressed you. Like maybe you met Billy Zane and you find out he's a jerk. So
um
because he's a jerk. So
no, I don't think I've ran into any celebrities really. I did get a chance to drink with Simon Beasley. You know who Simon
oh
Beasley is?
oh yeah, yeah, we do.
Man, his stuff is amazing, and what a fun guy to have
We
a
hear
beer.
he likes people.
What a fun guy to have a beer with, man. If you ever get a chance, shout out to Simon Beasley, man. What a fun guy just to shoot the shit with.
He's the
Plus,
guy where it's literally like there's an entire series of stories with him and Kevin Eastman just like existing together. You know?
really,
Oh
I'd
yeah.
like to hear some of those.
I think they were trying to make it into a cartoon at one point. But oh man. And his art is so good. you know, and it's
so unique, man. Like so dark and twisted. I love it. Oh,
it's cool, and the like the textures on it. You're like, wow, this shouldn't look this good, should it? You
yeah,
know?
yeah. He's one
So
day I'll get a commission from him.
do you ever do anything like characters like that Bisley has done, like Lobo or like the body count Raph?
No, but the body count Raph with I think he has a couple Uzis.
He does, yeah, yep.
Unbeatable Raph, dude. That Raph is
You know what you're looking at.
tooth and like it's so gritty.
Yeah.
I will eventually, but you know, not right now. I haven't done.
Now here's a question, because I was looking through some stuff and I didn't think that I saw this. Have you done a Last Ronin yet?
Yeah, I have. I've done a few. Yeah, I have
That's
one.
cool.
on
I
my
didn't get to
website
run across it.
right now.
It's on the website. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to ask, have we gotten you on a cover yet? Like for Turtles? Like, has anybody put your name in the hat for doing a variant?
No, not yet. That would be my dream come true, though, man. Let me tell you, my little heart would be.
I think you would kick ass at it, honestly. You know,
I
specifically
was
with
about to
like
think about myself.
Last Ronin 2. You've got this urban sort of setting with like tags all over the place and like buildings, maybe like some splash of color and such. You know, that would be amazing.
I'd love to. One day it'll happen.
Do you work digitally too, or is it all just like regular medium?
I like to. I can work digitally, but I prefer traditionally. Something to me. Nothing will beat having an object in front of you that you get to touch. I mean, you could do prints if it's digital, and there's there's amazing digital art. But just my preference is I like to do traditional, and then yeah, I do traditional because I like to have something to show.
No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But you think about it too, like having something like you've got a street sign and it's got Spider-Man or it's got, you know, Leonardo or something on it, and it's one of a kind. Like no matter what, that's a one of a kind piece. And you're leaving with that experience and you're like, dude, this was a street sign that was up somewhere and now it's here, and you know, this is the only piece that exists. There's something really, really special about that.
Yeah, there's like a history.
Now,
whatever it's been through, you know, like it's been through something, weather, sunlight, you know, you name it. Yeah, so it's like I like weathered signs too, like beat up signs, not too beat up where it's all like wrinkled, but like a nice weathered sign that's been through, you know, a few like 20 years. Like there's something to that, you know. The sign itself holds a lot of history in whatever it's been around, you know.
That's really cool.
That's how I like to look at it anyway, and that helps bring out the art piece too. You know, when you paint something cool on that, it only like accentuates that old vintage street sign, you know.
I imagine it's a big contrast too, especially when you got like something that's aged and, you know, faded and all that. Then you got some vibrant colors, you know.
Yeah, it's gritty, you know. I like that grittiness to it. I like adding the graffiti to it too because it looks like it's been through even more, you know.
Oh yeah.
And if I could get my hands on signs that have been graffitied by like other artists too, I think that's really cool. That adds to the piece as well.
Wow, that's pretty interesting because I didn't even think of that, because now you're just kind of like adding to the artwork and the history of the object.
Yeah, and if that graffiti artist ever find out I sold that piece with his name on it, I gotta cut him in a little chunk, you know, because you know he's part of that.
Respect.
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah, that's a really nice thing. I mean, that's huge respect. You know what I'm saying?
The next obvious question, and I'll ask Eric this, and I'll ask you this. What do you think would be something, Eric, that you would want to have RZP make some artwork on? Like, what would you pick? Would it be like a stop sign? Would it be a surfboard? What do you think that you would find?
The thing that keeps popping in my head is one of the big, huge green signs where it says, okay, like I live in Ohio, so you know, like 20 miles to exit, for exit 5 for Cincinnati or something like that. And like he had like this big, huge sign and have this big fight scene on there of
Oh.
turtles
Oh,
and the
nice.
Foot Clan.
That's pretty sick.
I mean,
Yeah, that would be amazing.
yeah,
Those signs are hard to find though, because
mhm.
those
I
signs are
imagine.
very important. Like there's only
In the amount of metal, I imagine.
yeah, that too. Man, I've gotten some signs that I wasn't supposed to get. I can't even talk about them on here.
We didn't hear a thing.
Oh yeah,
we
didn't hear nothing.
Sometimes
private collectors.
I take pictures in my studio, and I can't even show the pictures because the street signs that are, like
Missing.
Not supposed to have.
let's just say, like, yeah, I shouldn't have these, but like I have them. Somebody got them for me, But
You got them secondhand, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I did, absolutely.
Okay, secondhand.
exactly. Completely legal. What are you talking about?
Completely
Hands
legal.
off,
My answer is a carousel horse. Right? If you can imagine that, like a fiberglass carousel horse that's got like all these like sort of like carved embellishments and stuff like that. It's got the pole and maybe it's sitting there. I would love to see something like that. What you would do with this thing,
My Little Pony.
Well, I mean, anything, dude.
Venomized?
It would be whatever.
Carnage. I mean,
Carnage horse.
Yeah,
Carnage it out.
it
That'd
could be.
bananas. I love Carnage. That's one of my faves. I should have said
Mhm.
that. That's one of my favorites to draw.
Yeah,
There's a carousel museum in Connecticut.
I think in Bristol, right? Back to
Yeah, in Bristol. Yeah,
Yep.
I went to a child's birthday party in there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All the sculptures in there. Those carousels they're all old. Oh man, it's so cool.
So I was saying it's cool because you get kind of like that cracked paint from the old like enamel paint that they used to use on this stuff.
Right.
And some are wood and some are fiberglass and like cracking and stuff. Then to be like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's interesting. A carousel horse.
Yeah, like how would you find it? I mean, my original answer was going to be the bouncing battle cat from He-Man, but good luck finding that too. So, yeah.
As a carousel sculpture.
What was that?
The He-Man? You want the
Yeah.
He-Man the carousel or the He-Man cat? Would you say the bouncing cat?
Yeah, they used to have one, and it was kind of like on a metal frame with springs, and it looked just like Battle Cat.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm like, man, what rich person had that growing up? I don't know. I didn't have it, but I think it's cool. And I would love to see something like that, like you said, upcycling, and that's really cool. You could take it and just give it a whole new dimension. It's like, yeah, this is Carnage horse. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that one every time I come to this theme park.
Carnage Battle Cat horse.
Oh,
what about
geez, yeah.
anti-venom? Anti-venom.
You could do anti-venom, sure. It's a lot more white,
Yeah.
That's a real character, just in case you
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
I wasn't sure what your Spider-Man level of knowledge was. So.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to be in Spider-Man whenever I was younger. I wasn't like really deep into it like I am with the Turtles, but Spider-Man was probably one of my bigger ones that of course, the Batman a little bit of Batman.
Oh yeah.
So, but
That's
mostly like the whole, Avengers and all that. That's just not my thing. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, or if you see, it's literally painted like a turtle show. So I mean, I kind of have a couple turtle things here in this house.
What about commissions? Because Eric brings up like a really good point about like his favorite characters and stuff like that. You were talking about like DBZ and you were talking about like Spider-Man and all that. Who are some of the most popular characters that you get when people ask for some original artwork?
Oh man, honestly, it's all over the place. Really, like I would say it's I just did a Simpsons piece.
What?
House of Horror.
Oh,
it's
cool.
all over the place. I did Mars Attacks.
I saw the Simpsons one. That was awesome, actually. Yeah.
Yep, that's on my Instagram. Yeah, man, it's all over the place. It's never really one thing. I'm not the biggest Simpsons fan, but I do enjoy just drawing the Simpsons. Like it's a little challenging because you like in this commission, they kind of wanted it traditional, so there's not a lot of shading. I love shading and adding colors, so I had to keep it simple and
Keep it
really
yellow.
do the line work. Like the line work is important for The Simpsons. Yeah. So yeah, it's all, dude. My commissions are all over the place. It's insane.
I was saying before we started, you had like a stop sign or something like that with Rogue from the X-Men on it that really caught my eye. And I was like, damn, look at that. That was freaking crazy. And
Was that?
a Leonardo one too. And I was like, what? This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of commissions that I don't post sometimes too, because it's just, it's I don't usually post everything because I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. I got to move on to the next. I don't have time to make videos or take pictures sometimes. So it's like, I just got to get them in, get them out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're obviously a working artist and all that. So do you do any illustrations or anything like that? Like any commercial illustrations for books or things like that, or graphic design?
Not really. I've been doing commercial murals this past summer, so it'd be like an advertisement mural of their logo and whatnot. But I don't get a lot of illustration commissions. It's usually with the street signs and paintings.
You got your niche though. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I knew who you were because of the stop signs and the signs that we saw at Granite. I'm like, oh, that's RZP, of course.
Yeah.
And to me, you're like famous because I know your work just from like, oh, I could tell who that is.
Yeah, that's I'm happy you said that. It makes me feel good because it's hard as an artist to like, what can I do to stand out without stepping on someone else's artwork or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's hard to separate yourself from the other artists. So
I mean, it is definitely hard to stand out because there's a lot of artists. I mean, they draw on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They draw on paper. What can I do to reinvent myself? So you go with stop signs, like you have like that graffiti background. You know what I'm saying? So that's a different style of art. I mean, look, like Banks. He does, he does like some of the graffiti stuff, but not graffiti. I don't know. His art style is, you know what I'm saying? His art style is different, but when it comes to like, like Mike Ruth, he'll sit there and draw with some foreign objects.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Just, that makes him stand out. And, I actually have a piece of his over here. That Ronin head right there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
That one right there. He drew it with both hands.
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like he stands out, because he does like all this other stuff with that. Like I know who you was when I walked up and I seen the stop signs. Like I was like, I already know who this is because I've seen your work. I've seen your art, and I was like, this is RZP. Like me and him automatically knew who you were. I just didn't know like who you physically was, but I know your art. You know what I'm saying?
Well, plus talking to guys like Chris Vance and talking to Randy and they talk about your stuff. So it's we knew, showing up like, oh, okay, it's cool.
Yeah, we're pretty close with Randy.
For the listeners who can't see it, it's like, it's true. You walk into, you see a corner booth pretty much at the Comic Con, and it's got all these street signs, and I'm like, I don't know what to make of this. I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, this is just like, so like, you used the word dynamic before, and I'm like, it's really cool. And I just I do enjoy that.
There's actually a bunch of artists, graffiti artists, a couple of fine artists, portrait artists that paint on street signs.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm not the only one that paints on the street signs, but
the only one painting turtles, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's almost like the street signs are like I'm like piggybacking on these street signs because they're cool by themselves. Like I've talked to so many people at shows and they all have signs in their garage somehow. Like a lot of people have signs, like street signs.
So they could bring you the sign, be like, hey, here it is. So you don't even have to buy it. What you got there?
Yeah, it's
Oh, is it the Last Ronin? That is sick.
Mhm.
that handicap sign is really old too. You can see the
Yeah, that's an old school one right there.
I really like that about that sign. It's not a perfectly smooth surface to paint on, which makes it a little more
God.
difficult, but it makes it cooler in a way that it's damaged like that. I love that.
So what changes about something like that when it's an older sign? Like, do you use a different type of paint? Like, is it like, oh, I'm going to try to use oils this time or something? Or
No, I usually I have a process that I do. And it's set for each sign. So it's pretty much the same. I stencil off the sign, I sketch on my character, I stencil the character out just the shape of the character, I oil prime it, I spray paint it, and then I bring it back to paint pens.
oh no, oh, okay, cool. All right,
So
that's you get the fine details on there.
yeah, excuse me.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah, I have a whole process that I do for that, and it it definitely helps speed up the process for myself. And it took me a little while to get that process down, but I got it down, and it's like it works to where the paint will be at its most um it'll be at its strongest the way I do it. So like there's less damage and
You're
not
like
as
a Michelangelo yourself, talking about the Sistine Chapel, how he was mixing paint with plaster. So, now, hundreds of years later, it's still standing. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it'll last 100 years. I'm
yeah,
not sure. It's very hard to tell if something will last that long, but yeah, the oil primer is what helps stick to that metal, and then I get to use acrylic over that oil primer.
that's
So
really cool. Yeah.
it's a whole process. Man, excuse me, I'm dying over here. I'm
No
pretty
problem. Do you
sure
need
I'm
a drink?
sick.
You need a drink?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm sick.
Yeah, we
Oh
talk a
man.
lot, so that's one of those things where it's like we're used to it. So
Yeah.
probably should have told you to grab some water before. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, if you
No,
want to go grab some water, man, go grab some water.
no, I'm good. Go ahead. You guys talk for a minute. Okay.
talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like I'm sitting here going through everything. And so, you know, I this is one of the things that I always ask just about every artist. Have you ever drawn a Kirby, the fifth turtle?
No, I've never. What? Kirby?
Kirby, the fifth turtle.
The first one, I guess, the first fifth turtle, right?
Yeah.
Where? I never.
Am I
heard
telling the
of it.
story of Kirby?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, so Kirby was supposed to be in the original TMNT 3 movie.
Hmm.
So, oh no, hang on. Was it
Yeah, no,
TMNT?
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No, it was supposed to be after the TMNT 3 movie, going where they went back in time. I think because they were trying to make a fourth live action movie, and Kirby was supposed to be in that movie. And pretty much, Kirby is kind of based off of Slash in a sense, but he was supposed to be like the very very first like fifth turtle. I mean, we all know who Kirby. You know who Kirby. Why he was named Kirby?
Jack Kirby, I'm assuming.
Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
of course. He's the man, Jack
He
Kirby.
knows the lore.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of figured you could guess that one. That was just
It's a layup.
you know what I'm saying? It was easy. I just I was like Will Ferrell creating the alley oop for you.
Yeah, of course.
Jackie Moon. Little
Yeah,
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon, right? So I mean, maybe that's something you could. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm always looking at. Like Slash. I'm huge fan of Slash. Huge fan of Kirby. Metalhead. I seen your Metalhead in there, and I seen the Technodrome.
One of my favorites, the Metalhead.
Yeah, like
the classic Metalhead.
Yep.
You-
Oh, I love it.
his
The
butt
toy?
needs to get on tags.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'd be irony for him, because tags, things are getting sketchy.
Things are getting sketchy. Yeah. That would be great. What would
Have you seen any of those?
what would you
streams?
do? That's the
Have I
question.
seen? What's that?
Have you seen? have you seen any of the tag streams?
I think I hopped in one with Stephen King
Mm-hmm.
that was doing it, but besides that, I haven't watched like the full drawn out video.
Yeah.
But
Well,
those guys always talk about tags, and I was like, all right, I gotta check this out. And
check it out. Possibly get your
It's
butt
kind
on
of like
there.
Bill and Tober, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They'll get a prompt and it'll be like, okay, today we're gonna do X-Men. All right, cool. What's the next one? The Muppets as wrestlers. What? Yeah, here's
Yeah.
Beaker as Undertaker and
Beaker.
Pepe the Prawn as Macho Man Randy Savage. And what? It's like,
Coaster night.
yeah, they do
Coaster
little
night.
coasters.
Like there'll be like, because I got like 2 coasters. I got 3 coasters because my son, he got the Hollow Knight, the game movie, the game character Hollow Knight.
I didn't know who it was either, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, and then Ruth
It
is
looks
actually
awesome,
sending
though.
me.
I think Casey Wilson did that one, right?
Yeah, Casey did that one,
Yeah,
and I'm
man,
getting a
she killed it.
metalhead from Mike because I got like a last run-in and a slash.
Nice.
Hang on, see, I'll show you. Like,
Metalhead is like such an appropriate character for a sign too. That is
yeah,
that's such a good call.
those coasters.
Oh yeah, look at that. That Slash?
Nice.
That slash, and then there's the last run-in.
We're looking at Eric's for everyone listening, we're looking at Eric's collection there he's got, and framed the 2 coasters. Looks really cool.
Yeah,
You had to
And-
be there. That's good.
no, it's just like doing coasters, and I want to tell you one thing. Like, what was it? It was like Kurt Russell, but it was like Fonzie is like Kurt Russell or something.
Oh, from
like
the
that.
Thing. Yeah, the
Yeah,
horror Muppets horror. Yeah, I actually picked up Event Horizon Fozzie Bear. That was kind of interesting.
It's. I mean, it gets. I mean, it makes your like wheels really turn because it gets like absolutely insane because people will say some of the off the wall stuff.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
get like
also.
Hugh Rookwood drawing something, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I already finished," and you're like, "Wow."
Now
he's
I'm going to
so
tell you
friggin'
about
crazy.
Hugh. Man, that man draws quick.
He draws good,
He
well,
draws good,
quick,
and
all
he's
that good stuff.
like everybody else would be working on one, and he'll be on his 3rd one.
And don't
poster.
tell him this,
Wow.
but he's my hero. So,
Did you get a chance to meet Hugh while you were up there, Granite?
Hugh, what's his that?
Rookwood. He's real tall.
he would have been the tallest person in the room for
Yeah,
sure.
he's like the tallest guy. Him and Mike Ruth were always together.
I
Tall
want to
black guy.
say, I think so.
Glasses.
Glasses, yeah, yep.
Actually,
see-
he was pretty close to him. So
Yeah. Like you were like, because you were across from Santa Luca,
I was facing.
and then like literally, if like on the other, like behind Santa Luca was
Yep.
Hugh, and then Steven.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because Steven
Yeah,
and Hugh were right there side by side.
Canadian dude, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yep, that's good.
Yeah,
so you got a good chance to check out the Santa Luco stuff.
Yeah, I was looking at it all weekend. Looking at him crush it.
Yeah, that was a busy time. Like
Saturday. I want to say Saturday. Saturday was like, because we left Sunday morning,
yeah.
and Saturday was like super busy for. I mean, even though we were just a podcast, but we had so many people stop by and talk to us, and
What the folks don't know is that we were there Friday, Saturday, and we
Mhm.
left Sunday, and that was the day that Peter Laird showed up.
He shut that shit down. I got to meet him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
he shut that whole con down. Everyone just was waiting in line for him.
Why?
Yeah.
What else would you want to do
I know,
at that point?
it was amazing.
once in a lifetime, man.
What
like,
was your experience like? You got to tell us that.
So
We're
it's
such big Kevin and Peter fans,
It's the second time I met Peter. The first time it was at some show in Massachusetts. I can't even remember the name of the show, but he popped in and I got to meet him. He got to sign my my Ninja Turtle 1 book, so that was pretty dope.
first or second print?
Third.
Oh, third.
Third, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not holding that heat. I'm not holding that heat. So yeah, the second time, yeah, he's great, man. He's just such a pleasant guy, like quiet, like just, I had him sign I painted a few Ninja Turtles on a fake printed out sewage manhole cover.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, he was just a great guy. It's great.
We were talking to Steve Levine, and he was telling us how he and Kevin Eastman used to live right down the street in like Torrington, and just like from there they were like, oh yeah, we lived here and we were doing work on turtles. So I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even know this. There's like a Connecticut history, and it's right down the street from where we grew up and all that, and it's
Oh,
right then and there.
it
So
was
this,
in Torrington?
yeah, they rented a house out there.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. We were just talking to Steve, and just like, he's like, "Oh yeah, where are you from?" "Oh yeah, well, I used to live there." So I'm like, "Holy crap, we probably had the same pizza." He's like, "Oh, definitely." You know?
I just opened up my studio in Torrington.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and I'm from Thomaston. I'm living in
Oh,
Thomaston
Tom.
now.
Oh no, yeah, I know Thomaston. Yeah, I used to
So
go
yeah,
drink
a
there a
little
lot.
hole in the wall town, but it's nice, quiet.
Yeah, they don't
But
know how to plow the roads. Yeah, I know Thomaston. Yeah, it's
it's not that bad. They do all
not
right.
anymore. Yeah, I'm talking about in the '90s. That's Yeah, no, I think there used to be like a good place to play paintball out there back in the day. So we used to head out that way.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, that's crazy. But getting back to Connecticut here, I wanted to ask you because I happen to be partial to the pizza in Connecticut, and
Uh-oh.
I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite spot in Connecticut? And it could be literally anywhere, but I think listeners don't understand like what good pizza Connecticut has. So
Sally's Pizza, New Haven.
Sally's Pizza, yep, they're world renowned, I think,
Best.
for their white clam pizza.
Yeah, one of the best, man.
And if you don't like white clam pizza, they have other stuff too. It's just that happens to be like the award-winning pizza they have.
Frank Sinatra would drive from New York City to go to Sally's.
Oh
See,
my
and
god.
people don't know that, and that's it's just such a hidden gem.
Interesting.
What's your go-to pizza if you're gonna order one?
Do buffalo chicken pizza, man.
Damn, buffalo chicken pizza. So I
Interesting.
remember that from Randy's Worcester Street pizza back in the day.
Worcester's, yeah.
Yeah, they had that, and an apology to all of the people listening from Massachusetts. That's how we said it back then. So it's Worcester, not Worcester or whatever. But yeah, theirs was pretty good, and I think it had lettuce on it back in the day. Yeah, it was. I think they stopped that right away because it was weird. But yeah, yeah. So buffalo chicken pizza. What's on that one?
It's just buffalo chicken. Instead of mozzarella cheese, there's some blue cheese under there.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward,
Eric, would you eat that? That's the question.
It's fire.
Yes,
You
probably.
would.
Even though I'm not a big fan of blue cheese, it just really depends on the kind of blue cheese that they use. Like one of the restaurants I used to work at, we did a buffalo chicken, but we had chicken sausage is what we had. We had chicken sausage
Chicken
and all that.
sausage. Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had chicken sausage, but ours was like a when I did pizza, we did it in was it open fire? It was like pretty much one of those open fire grill
Oh,
with
like
the
a brick
brick.
oven? Yep.
Yeah, the brick oven. I can't think right now. I'm still trying to wake up. But it'd be like 800 degrees and all that stuff, and we would do like the blue cheese that we had at the restaurant was really it was more fruity, had like a little bit more of a fruity flavor for the blue cheese, and it was actually really 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 good. Of course we would put if people wanted ranch, they would get ranch on top of that too. Put buffalo as the sauce, and then of course our chicken sausage, was delicious.
That doesn't sound bad at all. I mean, I'd eat that.
Mm-mm.
I kind of
Mhm.
like just knowing what I know about the pizza that Rob's had. I kind of want that one. So yeah,
Yes.
I haven't had Sally's pizza in forever. I mean, we did Frank Pepe's when we went to Terrificon. We did that one, which is it's a good pizza. It's a pizza that's well known throughout the country and all that. But I'm just telling you, listeners, don't sleep on Connecticut pizza. It's a lot better than you think. And if New York is the GOAT, then this is like right underneath it.
Nah, Connecticut's the go. I'm telling you right now.
I agree.
New York kid, bro. They're all right. I'm telling you. Shots fired, dude.
Yeah. And he's not just saying this
We're
because he was
taking it.
arrested in New York.
We're number one.
Yeah.
And we're coming for everyone.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Chicago area now, so I could tell you they don't know much about good pizza out here.
I got the deep dish.
Yeah, besides that, they've got the other kind, which is like flat cracker crust, and it's just not my thing. I'm like, give
See,
me some like good fat crust and cooked in the brick oven, like Eric's saying, and
Yeah, the brick
yeah,
oven is
like
the
I want
brick
the cheese to
oven.
be brown on
best.
top, which is
Yeah.
how we like it in Connecticut. Cook that cheese. So,
Yeah, I want it toasty. You
Yeah.
don't want it like
they don't do that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. See, I that was the whole thing. It was like our pizzas would be done in like 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's 800.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, okay, put it in there because our oven was like 900 degrees in there. So you pop it in there, and then you give it a little turn, and then bring it out because the crust, everything, you had the little bubbles and everything and all that stuff.
I was so hungry I had to get to the pizza because I know he had that, but we skipped over a vital part of the podcast, and I wanted to ask, who's your favorite turtle? It sounds like you got hooked on it from the cartoon, but who's your guy? Like, where's the one you go to?
You guys got to guess my turtle.
Leo.
No,
I'm gonna guess it's Raph.
Of course, Raph.
Okay, so
Yeah,
High five in the air on that one.
I'm a Leo guy. He's a Raph guy. So
I'm a
it's
Raph guy too, bro.
I say there's a good
Love
amount
Raph,
of
You too.
people that we've had on that are Raph fans, probably more than Raph and Leo are probably the two biggest ones, I think.
Are they? Yeah.
Raph is the biggest one, just saying.
Yes, technically, but I mean, hey, we've had a lot of Mikey fans on too, so
Yeah.
I'm surprised you forgot about that one question that you usually ask.
I didn't get there yet, sir. Well, because we went all over it. He wants to know if you
We
like
were talking
Yankee
about pizza
apparently.
too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We hadn't asked him yet, and I always
Mhm.
like to know, because it's like, does that influence, who you like to draw? Like, do you like drawing Raph more? Do you like drawing Leo? Do you draw all four of them? Who's is there anything like that where you're like, man, I'm just going to draw Raph today?
I like drawing Raph. Yeah, that's my go-to. I do like to draw all of them, just because I like all of them. But Raph is definitely my top guy. I have to.
I'm going to be looking for that Raph from Body Count because I think that's going to be amazing. I can see him with like a bat with a nail in it or something, or a hockey stick next to Casey. That would be just friggin' amazing.
The tooth missing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so with the just getting kind of into the last questions here, with the style of artwork that you have, getting into Mutant Mayhem, what do you think of that art style with kind of like the Pantone filters and all that? It's like, is that kind of like oh wow, this is amazing for you? Or
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's like they're taking the animation to the next level. I think, because like it went from that kind of computer digital artwork for those like Pixar.
Yeah,
it's
3D
very
animation type
the
stuff.
first
Yeah.
Toy Story is very like basic, but it was cool. It was still cool, but now they're taking that with the new Spider-Man. They're tying in the
Across the Spider-Verse and
all the colors and all like the layering of colors, and I love it. I think it's great. It's just they're taking it to the next level, and it makes it funner. It's more stylized, and it just looks great. I thought it was,
and so much of it is like featured with like tags and graffiti and stuff like that in the film. It's like, oh wow, this is like the lifeblood of the film. I thought it was like really cool. So
yeah, I mean, if you're in New York City, that's literally everywhere you turn. There's some sort of mural, or there's a giant advertisement, or there's mostly graffiti, and like you just can't escape it. It's everywhere, and it makes the city more brighter, I believe. Even though sometimes you'll get somebody that'll spray paint some dumb shit and it won't look great.
Yeah,
but like, if you walk past an alley and you see like a door with all these graffiti tags on it, it's just beautiful. It's like, all these different artists. It's a history of all these different artists, and
that's cool.
And really, they're supposed to let the good art or good graffiti art. You're not supposed to go over that. unless you're going over something that's better. But usually like people respect like older artists, and it's great. It adds color to the city, man. Without it, it would be fucking boring. It'd be really
I
boring,
imagine.
and
That's really cool. I like your passionate stance on this too, because I never had that perspective. And I like that there's a code, like an artist code, where it's like you don't go over this. That's not done. People might get their ass beat, and
I mean, literally, yeah. There's some people out there that would beat your ass, but it's like it's
besides the two cops you met, it's
But then again, if you go to a nice town and there's a graffiti over the Cumberland Farms, it's like, oh fuck, what the fuck? What am I walking into? Like,
yeah, exactly.
But something about the city having it be everywhere, it's just it makes it, I guess, more digestible. If you're in the city and you see graffiti.
I fully love that, like just the idea and like the passion behind it and your art. I think it's so cool. So our final question, Eric was leading up to this one. So he wants to know if you're getting pizza, pineapple or no pineapple.
I've been known to fuck with some pineapple on my pizza, but
he's not done yet, Eric.
No, not usually.
Not usually, okay, but
you're in between, is what you're saying.
You're in betweener, yeah. Because I will do pineapple. I do pineapple and pepperoni, and he will not. So,
dude, pineapple, ham, bacon. That's the Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah.
Bacon is a given. I mean, that's part of my food group.
Yeah, bacon.
Yeah, seriously, if anyone's ever followed Eric on Instagram, you can see he literally baconed an entire, was it a roast or brisket?
It was what I'd made is, it's called a bacon explosion. I actually have, like, on my memories today from Facebook, it's called a bacon explosion. And what I'll do is I'll take some sausage and chorizo and combine that all and make it into like a meatloaf type deal, and then I'll lay it flat and I'll have like a bacon weave underneath of it. And then I'll throw like some cheese, pepperoni, some barbecue sauce, and then I'll smoke it for like 6-7 hours.
And then you put the pineapple on.
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
The crazy part about pineapple is that my mom, she was allergic to pineapple, so that's why I probably have an
aversion to it.
A thing for pineapple. It's just, and also I've like dealt with pineapple, and whenever I was in the Navy, I dealt with pineapple, and I had to cut like, I don't know, like 20 things of pineapple in the morning, and my hands, I didn't think about it because I was just starting out. I didn't think about putting gloves on, and it tore my hands.
Oh yeah, okay.
All the acid.
The acid, yeah.
I understand.
Make your pea smell magnificent, though.
Oh yeah, there you go. See, that's good. So that's the best. That's the best epic tale from the sewer you can have. Good smelling pee. So.
Yeah, you want to make sure that pee smells sweet, in case you ever got blessed with it,
Yeah, you got to put out a fire. You never know.
There's something
let's ask this. So
in the neighborhood,
we've got you listed as at R_Z_P on Instagram, and we've got www.rzpart, and the A is capital in this .com. Where can folks find you besides this? Do you have any shows coming up, and maybe any projects you have coming up?
Okay, so I'm doing I'll be in Awesome Con at in March 8th through 10th. I have Terrificon coming up. I have Brooklyn Comic Con. There's a bunch of shows. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram. As far as projects, I'm working on some new pieces for me to bring to Washington to Awesome Con. But besides that, I have a bunch of sketch cards I got to work on for a friend, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's cool. Yeah, I've enjoyed following the Instagram and all that, and like I said, Villain Tober was amazing. I hope that that's something that you get into this year too. So
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that with those guys. That was fun. Camelo really, I like battling. Like not
oh yeah,
not necessarily like in a mean spirited way, but I like pushing each other. Like, oh man,
Yeah,
I see Camelo.
that's
and he
yeah,
does
it's
that's awesome.
Chris
I
Vance will
was just
post on
loving it.
Dope Up, like Steve King will post on Dope Up, and I'll be like, oh man, I gotta spend a extra half hour on this. So
I don't know how you made Mole Man so absolutely compelling, but
Yeah.
it's like this black and white, inked Mole Man, and I'm like, holy shit, that's good. It's just like it's so good, and I want to urge listeners, go out there, check out his artwork because it's so cool, especially if you love turtle stuff. I missed out; I didn't get to see the Ronin until right now, but I'm glad I saw it. But what we'll do is we'll say goodbye to our guest. We'll thank you very much. And for all of our listeners, we'll be back with your pizza recipe of the day. And I just want to thank you guys for joining us today.
Cool. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you. Good talking to you guys.
Yep, definitely.
It's pizza time.
And now, in a segment that we call Pizza Time, where we discuss any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or pizza-related food, I give you Pizza Time.
We're heroes in a half shell, we're baking a surprise. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pie. Fresh from the sewers to you. Their minds are delicious, you know that's true. Because they're filled with mutagen goo. That's vanilla pudding goo. They've got the tastiest, flakiest, greatest crust. Even better than our pizza. And it's green like us. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pie. Fresh from the sewers to you. Radically sweet.
It can't be beat.
And there's a free turtle sticker inside, that's neat. New from Boston. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pie. Fresh from the sewers to you.
Thank you for listening to the Epic Tales from the Sewers podcast. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. This podcast has no affiliation with Eastman, Laird, Mirage Studios, IDW Studios, Archie Comics, or Nickelodeon Studios. This podcast is a member of the Dorkening Podcast Network. Check out thedorkening.com for other podcasts. Epic Tales from the Sewers is recorded by Justin Cooper and Eric Will.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
It took me 10 years to make the perfect man cave.
And then we took it over. And we made it into the multiversal chamber.
Then I started my own podcast.
And we took that over too. And we're the co-hosts, the Multiverse Kids.
Yeah, and I'm the dad, the geeky dad. And every week, what?
We review the movies, shows, and books. Games and toys.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have a special guest. So, join us every week on the Geeky Dad Podcast.
Hello, intrepid listeners. This is the Generation Playlist Podcast, a podcast about music where we are your guides through a particular group or artist.
We talk about the music, and then we make a customized playlist to share with you, our listener. And you can check us out wherever you listen to podcasts and find our playlists on Spotify.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Redoctopus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite seems trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games, and movies, to cartoons, and even snacks and school lunches.
Oh.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Dorking Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.